Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Friday the 3rd of October. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Hamilton Gardens has received the prestigious International Garden of the Year award. The win was announced as part of the 2014 Garden Tourism Awards, held at the International Conference of Gardens Without Limits Conference in Metz, France. The annual award is presented to gardens which distinguish themselves in the development and promotion of the garden experience as a tourism attraction. Previous winners have included the Singapore Botanic Garden, which is currently applying for UNESCO World Heritage status, and the gardens of Trotmansdorf Castle in Murano, Italy. Mayor Julie Hardacre says the news puts Hamilton on the World Garden stage, and she is sure the whole of Hamilton will be celebrating. The win comes just as the council starts a major development program at the gardens, which aims to increase the tourism options. Of the 38 people who are treated for a cardiac arrest by St John's each week, 11 are successfully resuscitated and transported to hospital. 6 of those people will later be discharged. That's a 15% survival rate, and St John's says this is comparable to, or even better than, rates of a number of other ambulance services internationally. These results have been published in St John's first out-of-hospital cardiac arrest registry annual report. The report is an analysis of data collected with district health boards to establish a national cardiac arrest data registry and benchmark St John outcomes with those of other ambulance services. Now for the region's marine forecast. West Coast, Raglan, southwest 35 knots, easing on Saturday evening to 25 knots. East Coast, Bay of Plenty, westerly 30 knots, easing to a southwest 25 knots. There will be a few showers. Just ahead, we're at the Waikato Home and Garden Show. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. When renovating or building a new kitchen, ultimately the appliances are going to take up most of the budget. I spoke with Rachel Louis, Managing Director of SMEG, about the change in appliances over the years and the appeal of exhibiting at the Waikato Home Show.
We've been coming for about 5 years now, and every year we try to do something bigger and better than the year before.
What appealed to you about the Waikato Home and Garden Show?
We love this show because we're a family business, been importing for 28 years, and the Waikato Home and Garden Show is also family run, so we love the family feel about the show. It's very relaxed, there's so much to do and see here. And for us, we just want to add to that, so we create a real experience for customers when they come onto our stand.
You said you try something different every year. What's different about this year?
Well, this year's quite exciting. We've got a few sneak releases that we're showing, sneak previews. So we've got, we'll be launching for Mother's Day next year, small appliances. So within that we have the cooking toaster, we have the kettle, we have a mixer, we have a blender, all in the retro colours. So you've seen our retro range of beautiful fab fridges. They're all going to come out now in small appliances, which is pretty exciting for us because we've always been known for mainly cooking appliances. And that's only some of the stuff that we really have on offer because we are in the fashion business, so every year we bring out more and more products, and so we'll be showcasing a whole lot of new products here at the show. We've also got a really neat feature on our stand this year that's quite different from last year. It's called the Connected Space. And this connected space is a place that you can wander through. It's a black box. You go inside. We've got 17 partners inside who have come up with the home of the future, latest trends, latest technology, and people can go through that. They get connected, they get a sticker to say they've been through, and they go in the draw to win a huge number of prizes, including an iPad Air. So it's something that you can see hot off the press, the latest resin colours. We've got overhead opening cupboards, automation, you name it, that's in that space. That's new on our stand this year.
You've been the New Zealand SMEG distributor for over 28 years. Is it possible to put into words how much appliances have changed over those years?
Well, they've changed a huge amount. I mean, think back 28 years ago, we were the first European importer, so we had to teach people, what a gas cooktop was. There was no such thing back 28 years ago. So now you have in your cooktops things like induction, using the magnetic field of the pot as an inductor. So fashion is changing and technology is changing. We have two schools of cooking styles in New Zealand now. We have people who are really good foodies and good chefs, and they know what to do in the kitchen, and they control their oven, and they have everything under control. We also have some of the younger generation coming through maybe who don't know how to cook as much as Mum did, and those people want to know, what temperature do I put it on, when's it going to be cooked, what tray level do I put it on, and we've got appliances that pretty much help you do it all for you as well. So we cater for both styles of cooking, which is great.
What do you think has had the biggest influence and change, fashion or technology?
Well, for us it's both. I mean, being SMEG and being Italian, what do Italians know best? It's about fashion, and it's also about food. So when you cook in a SMEG oven, you know that it is going to come out with a really good result. So certainly the technology that's put into it is excellent. But look around at our stand, we have so many different series within the SMEG range, whether it's a coloured product, whether it's glass, stainless steel. There's fashion for everyone within our range.
Speaking of fashion, you have to tell me about these beautiful fridges behind you.
Well, these are part of our retro range, but this is something special that we've had some artists who entered on our website to come up with recreating a white fridge into their own creation. So these 4 finalists were chosen to actually recreate their drawing into real life. So we've got 4 fantastic designs that had 3 weeks to pull it together. So they received a white fridge, they recreated it, and they're entered here at the show, and people can actually come along and vote for their favourite, and they go in to win a mini fridge of their own. So it's something pretty special, and at the end of the show we'll be actually auctioning those fridges off through Trade Me over the next month, and all proceeds are going to Ronald McDonald House. So it's great for us, again, a family business, being able to give back to the community.
What can visitors expect when they come to the stand this time?
Well, we've got over 250 models of appliances on display, so there really is something for everyone. In addition to the appliances, which obviously have huge home show deals and really worth coming to see, we've got a SMEG cooking theatre, and Vanessa Baxter, who is on MasterChef, and she's our SMEG ambassador, will be cooking up a storm throughout the 4 days. We have some Kitchen Things design seminars, so again we've got some great designers coming, telling us, giving some tips and advice on what to do when doing a renovation or building a new kitchen. We have the colour space where people can come and learn about colours, textures, styles, all on our stand. We have a couple of funky cars that people can see, and the connected space that I talked about earlier as well is something that's a feature for people to see on the show. And we have great prizes, so whether you're buying or not, there's all sorts of things that you can enter to win. And one other feature that we have, not on this stand but in the arena, is our SMEG racing car setup. So we sponsor the V8 Super Tourers, Simon Evans, and we've got his massive truck, his car, his pit setup, and some racing simulators. So people can come along, have a go on the racing, and go in the draw to win a hot lap with Simon Evans at Pukekohe later this year. So really, something for everyone.
What's the next big thing for SMEG?
Well, being in the fashion business, there is always something new that's coming out. I mentioned the small appliances. That's one of the next big things for SMEG, so that's something that we're already getting inundated with requests for, and something hot on the horizon.
Make sure you check out the huge SMEG stand at the Waikato Home and Garden Show. Up next, we check out the Home of the Year. Welcome back to Central News. The Registered Master Builders 2014 House of the Year National Gala Awards evening will be held on Saturday the 15th of November in Auckland, when category winners compete for the Supreme Award. I spoke with Steve Ross, the branch president of the Waikato Registered Master Builders Association, to find out more about these elite awards and how a builder qualifies for the awards.
Basically, an entrant has to be a registered master builder to start with, and then any member of our organisation can actually submit an entry. The entry, it's a basic entry that you submit. You have to provide documentation such as a copy of the plans, a copy of the contract, several photos, financial verification to prove that the cost of the house is actually what the contract value is for that particular category, and also supported with a Code of Compliance certificate from the local territorial authority, and also a practical completion certificate signed by the client. All that information is then collated and sent off for scrutineering, and the scrutineer then verifies that that particular entry actually meets that criteria and fits within that category, and then they go on to judging. So it's open to anybody from any size organisation within the Master Builder, so yeah, caters for everyone.
What does being nominated or, actually winning a category mean to a builder?
Personally, I've last year I won the local Supreme Award, and we picked up quite a few, and it was a really good acknowledgement. I think putting yourself out there on a pedestal for people to actually judge you, your peers to acknowledge you and judge you for your workmanship, and then to be acknowledged by winning is tops it all off. Especially because you strive for the perfection of workmanship, and you bestow that into your chippies and your apprentices, that's the quality we want, that's what we aim for, and then actually to pull it off and then actually win. And then going forward to actually take those quality marks and actually use them for marketing campaigns is really good, and then people sort of acknowledge that now because it's so recognised within the industry. So it's one of those, it's a good feeling, it's really good.
So who are the local boys that are up for the running, and what are the categories?
This year we had, in the Waikato region, we had 22 entries for Waikato, and within that 22, going on to the nationals, there are 12 categories winners going through, 9 builders, and 12 category winners. So it's really, there's probably a total of, I think it's 15 different categories. So they average from a new home right through to existing alterations, from up to 250,000, then 250 to 500,000. So there's quite a range that you can put your home in for award, as well as show homes, and builders can also put in their own home if they've produced one of those during the year. So there's quite a few. From Hamilton this year, there's, like I say, 9. There's Beach Home Builders, Gutsall Designs from Matamata Tauranga, David Reed Homes, Greg McGovern Construction, CJW Builders, Slogan Builders, Aspires Builders, Peter Vossen, and Urban Homes Design. So we've got a good category. They're going from basically 250 category right up to over the $2 million mark. So we've got a good mix. We think we've got a good chance for the Waikato to take out the National Supreme Award this year, which is really good for our members.
Definitely seems like we've got some talented builders.
Yes,
There's lots from the Waikato.
Definitely.
So what does it mean for a client to employ a registered master builder?
I think for a client's perspective, they're acknowledging and recognising a brand that's been around and established for well over 100 years. I think people love to have that backup. We've got the backup support from a regional office here in the Waikato, so we're at grassroots level. Goes through to, we have regional officers on the road that can go around and meet clients, meet their builders, provide that backup support. The clients know that's there, and they also know that there's a national office in Wellington. And through that acknowledgement, we've been able to build our support structures for all our members, from contracts, guarantees, and all of that sort of literature that helps them be a quality and recognised builder, really. Yeah.
What does it actually mean to be a registered master builder? Are there certain requirements that you have to kind of...
Yeah, definitely. There certainly is. It's not just a simple process of filling out an application form and handing over a cheque each year. Anybody that wishes to become a member comes on, they go on our website, download an application form. From there they generate, one of our regional officers will go and interview them and meet them and go through a process. They have to supply such information as their work experience. We go around and check their workmanship, we check with previous past clients, we check their financial credibility. They have to provide 3 or 4 credit references. So we're getting a really good background history on them. We're just not opening the doors to any builders. They really have to prove themselves. So we've tiered the organisation to have quite a few different categories where they can enter, and they can become a provisional member, for example, for a year, and then we say to them, we'll keep an eye on you, give a bit of a hand, and help develop what you need to develop to move on and progress within the organisation.
Now tell me about this Cradle to the Grave
Yes.
initiative.
We took a step back and we looked at our membership, and Master Builders has been recognised for, I think, for a lot of years about the old boys syndicate and the little cartel sort of thing with the old boys. When we said, well, that's not what it's about at all. When we recognise that we've actually missed the opportunity from getting younger guys to come on as members and develop them and help them develop their skills and their business ethics. So what we said was, where do we need to start? And of course we start down at the grassroots, which is our apprentices. So what we've done is we've opened up different categories. So we've got apprentices, we've got individual carpenters, we've got professional members now. So we can take them from the high school, which we've also developed along with the BCITO training organisation, that they go into the high schools, and a lot of the high schools now have Gateway program. So those guys can come to us as potential employees, and they get a feel through several days a week, each week from the high schools, what it's all about, and then we can sign them up onto an apprenticeship, and then they can actually, for a $20 fee, become a apprentice of the organisation as a one-off fee for that 3 to 4 years that they're doing an apprenticeship, and then they have access to a lot of the information that's available on the website through our organisation.
Make sure you visit the Master Builder stand at the Home Show at Claudelands Event Centre. And for more information on House of the Year, go to houseoftheyear.co.nz. Just ahead, Mayor Julie Hardacre on the sale of pensioner housing. Welcome back. Last week, Hamilton City Council voted 8-4 to go ahead with the proposal to sell the pensioner housing, causing some anxiety amongst the elderly residents. I spoke with Mayor Julie Hardacre about this and who has expressed interest in purchasing the housing complexes.
Well, certainly in the public there's been a bit of discussion, and when we had the council meeting last week where we talked about the proposal and council was deciding whether to put the proposal out for consultation, one of the organisations that came and spoke in the public forum, St Vincent de Paul, they said that they were interested in looking at purchasing the housing and they were going to work up a proposal for the council. But at this stage, of course, we've just got our proposal out in the public for everyone to have a comment about what they think about this proposal, which is, of course, for the council to sell its pensioner housing units and offering those, first of all, to the social housing providers.
How is this going to benefit the complexes and the residents?
Well, one of the things that the council did at the beginning of this year was set up a working group to have a look at this issue, and the working group has been busy working away for the last 6 months, and we put out a discussion paper in March which talked about all the issues surrounding the changes that the government is making in the social housing sector. The government's done some legislation on this, and also just the changing nature of our community and where the needs are. And then following that discussion paper, the working group then looked at various options that the council might want to consider and made the recommendation to council to put out the proposal for sale. Now, we did that, I was sitting on the working group, and we did that not in isolation. We talked a lot to the social housing providers, we had some very good meetings with them. They fully understand what's happening in the community in terms of housing needs, and this is a big issue for our city and for New Zealand. Actually being able to provide houses for those who do need low rental homes. Housing people is very, very important from a social perspective. So we did all of this, and we came to the conclusion that for council to remain in the business may not be the best thing. and that we were interested to see what the public and organisations had to say about that. Some of the things that impacted on that decision were certainly the government changes, because the government has now allowed social housing providers to have access to the rental subsidies that previously only Housing New Zealand could access, and also access to the capital funding. Now in the past, councils could apply to the government for capital funding to do improvements. That's no longer going to be the case. Social housing providers, if they become approved providers, can do that. So that did impact. The second thing is we've got quite a few who are quite old. A lot of older houses in the wrong area, and they need a lot of upgrading. So when we provide the service, we provide it to older people, and there's lots of things that we need to do to our units to make them a better living experience, like level showers and mobility scooter parking areas and those sorts of things. Insulation is another one. A lot of our units we cannot insulate because of the time that they were built. It's not practical to be able to do that. So we looked at those things. We looked at the needs for people in the housing community who needed housing. What we found from those discussions was that it was a broad range of people, not just older people who needed that service. And in fact, there's not enough housing in Hamilton for the wider community. So those are the sort of things we looked at. We came to the conclusion as a working group to recommend that we should test this proposal. And I know it's generated quite a bit of debate in the community, but it's good debate. And we're not the only council who's been looking at this issue. Recently, New Plymouth District Council put out their proposal and are seeking feedback as well.
Will the council look at building new complexes?
No, the council would not do that. We're not in a financial position to do that. And the working group came to the conclusion, based on the financial analysis, which is simply not an option for this council.
To make a submission, go to hamilton.gov.nz. Now for our region's weather for the weekend. Hamilton, your Saturday will have showers and a strong, cool southwesterly. Your expected high is 12 and an overnight low of 7. The rest of the Waikato, occasional showers, a change to a cool, gusty southwesterly. Paeroa, you can expect a high of 14 and an overnight low of 8. Matamata 12 and 8. Te Awamutu 12 and 7. And Tokoroa, you can expect a high of 10 and an overnight low of 5. Tauranga, a few showers, they should be clearing, and a strong gusty southwesterly. The rest of the Bay of Plenty, a few showers clearing in the evening and a change to strong, cool southwesterlies. Te Puke, your expected high is 12 and an overnight low of 7. Sunday, Hamilton, a few showers, fresh westerlies. Your expected high is 16 and an overnight low of 10. The rest of the Waikato, a few showers and fresh westerlies. Paeroa, you can expect a high of 17 and an overnight low of 10. Matamata, 14 and 10. Te Awamutu, 16 and 10. And Tokoroa, 13 and 9. Tauranga, your Sunday is looking mainly fine with a gusty westerly. Your expected high is 16 and an overnight low of 10. The rest of the Bay of Plenty, you're the same, mainly fine with westerlies. Te Puke, 15 and 11. That is Central News for today and this week. If you have a story you'd like to share with us, you can like us on our Facebook page, centralnews.tv, or email us news@tvcentral.co.nz. Join me again next week for more stories from the Bay of Plenty and the Waikato. I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening and a fantastic weekend.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.